So, this is everything that has happened so far for today. Top US and world headlines. We're going to start with some alerts. This is how we usually do it. Today, December 15, we have four main alerts that we're going to go through. First, Providence Police releases additional video of person of interest in Brown shooting. On Monday evening, federal and local authorities released new photos and video of the person of interest in Saturday's Brown University shooting, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation announced a $50,000 reward. Anybody want a reward? 50K can go a long way. 50K can go a long way. So start freaking working. In a Monday press conference, officials revealed new images of the person of interest with TED Talks urging no amount of information is too small, hoping for progress in 24 to 36 hours. Interesting. So they haven't done shit pretty much. Ford Ford to record 19.5 billion in special charges related to EV pullback. On Monday, Ford Motor Company said it will report a $19.5 billion charge in special items, mostly recorded in the fourth quarter, and will end production of the fully electric F-150 Lightning. Wow. Wow. So that truck came and went just like that. It showed up and now it's gone. And that was actually one of my favorite trucks. I really wanted to try that freaking truck out and buy it and see how it actually does. But I guess just based because of like EV freaking problems that Trump has with them, many like batteries, it's uh there's no control over them. There's no real way to make money, right? So they're not incentivizing it as much. Financially, Ford expects the charges to affect reported net results but not adjusted earnings. Rising adjusted EBIT guidance to about 7 billion in 2025, while shares closed Monday at 13.65 with mixed moves. Strategically, the company is positioning to refocus on hybrids and EREVs. What's EREVs? Let's see. What is EREVs? Come on. I guess we can show the whole screen so you guys don't get bored. Let's see. We're gonna share the entire screen. That one. Okay. Make sure that's working. Is it working? Okay, it's working. Now we gotta do a little research. What? E R E V. Evening or No, 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 no. Freaking AI, come on. You're not making a good name for yourself. Let's try this again. Let's try this again. R E V EREVs. Let's see what this says. Let's see what this says. Oh. extended extended range electric vehicles. This is a type of plug-in electric vehicle that is designed to run almost entirely on electricity, but it has a built-in generator to eliminate on electric power, but it has a built-in generator to eliminate range anxiety on long trips. That's actually genius. Why were we not thinking about that before? Like to have a built-in generator, that just makes sense and that charges the battery. So cuz there's been new a whole new industry created just from freaking um just from people losing their freaking charge on their car in the middle of nowhere. And it's like these towing companies now offered a generator recharge, so they all they do is drive around with the generator, and they offer a new service to just charge your dead freaking electric vehicle, when clearly this could have been done way before. Like it's not just about electric vehicles. Um it's right here, extended range electric vehicles. That makes, I mean, so much more sense than why would you let your car die? Wow. Okay, let's read a little more about these famous electric vehicles. Electric drive. The wheels are always driven by the electric motor. Range extender. ERVs have an onboard internal combustion engine or other auxiliary power units that acts only as a generator. This design is known as a series hybrid system, where the engine's sole purpose is to generate electricity to power the electric motor and or recharge the battery when the battery. This is like um this is the same system that they had they had way back when cars, before cars were industrialized. They already had electric cars, but it was not beneficial to anybody, so they didn't mass produce those. Why? Because Ford had a deal with Rockefeller, and Rockefeller owned all the freaking um, crude oil, and then just refineries, and then Rockefeller created all the monopolies, right? Let's search that up. Let's look that up right now. So, um, what's this? for business to Rockefellers um, bully and grow Ford's assembly line. Great business model, but left innovation forgotten. I'm kind of leading. I'm kind of leading on this question. Um, the drive right here. It says it right here. And now we see Ford going back and forth, based on the policies. So they're not looking to um at the end of the day, Ford is a company. They're not looking to innovate, right, or change the world. That's not what they're looking for. They're looking for a profit. So whatever they are incentivized to do, they will do to sell more cars. They're not looking to change the world and make everything better for humans. They're looking for profit, just like they have been since the company started. Let's see. The drive towards large scale consolidation and monopolistic power was the primary force that emerged first. Okay, so before Ford, John D. Rockefeller's Standard Oil was formed in 1870 and was largely broken up by the Supreme Court in 1911. Standard Oil controlled over 90% of the U.S. oil refining and distribution business at its peak. Robert Barons, Cornelius Vanderbilt, and Andrew Carnegie had already created vast integrated monopolies, um, or near monopolies, well before the Model T assembly line of 1913. The public outcry and the government response. The Sherman Antitrust Act of 1890 was specifically designed to combat the monopolistic practices of these industrial giants. So, Rockefeller at this point was freaking shaking in his legs. Why? Because the government said no, no. The government said, yeah, we don't like that you're monopolizing everything and you have control of everything. This looks fishy, right? So they said no. Um, the first industrial revolution and the second industrial revolution. No, that's what are we looking for? Um, long. What is it? ERVs. REVs. Testing way before. So yeah, let's see. The concept of, so now we established how Rockefeller had a interest, right? Had an interest because his monopoly was coming down, but it didn't change the fact that he owned so many refinery, and during the time that it was a monopoly, obviously he made an enormous amount of money from the refining and distribution of this oil. Um, the concept of the extended range electric vehicle, or more broadly, the series hybrid, was not only in motion but had already been invented and demonstrated years before Henry's Ford Model T was introduced in 1908, and certainly before the moving assembly was perfected in 1913. It's okay, so you understand, right? The electric vehicle and the long range electric vehicles were already a thing way before the Model T was. Way, I mean, literally way before. The long, the loner, the how do you say that? Lohner Porsche Mixte, the world's first hybrid vehicle and a clear predecessor to the EREV, was designed by a young engineer named Ferdinand Porsche, the future founder of the sports car company. Debuted in 1901, 7 years before the Model T. Let's see. When did we say? So John D. Rockefeller was from 1870 to 1911. Wow, that's a long time. And so during that time, in 1901, we get uh, the electric vehicles. And then only 7 years later do we get the Model T. And then 5 years later, we get the assembly line. That's crazy. So we see 1901, we got the electric car. 1908, Rockefeller and Ford are like, yo, Rockefeller goes out to Ford and is like, yo, we need to combat this. We need a way to go around this and stop the electric vehicles because it messes with my refining and distribution business. That's crazy. Because remember, he got stopped by 1911. So this was way after. Way after. Not that long, but still. So that's crazy, bro. So we start. Let's look at the timeline again. So by 19 so by 1901 we had the first electric vehicle. One of the first, right? By 1908, Rockefeller goes to Ford and is like, yo, this is a problem. This is going to mess with my refining and distribution industry. And at that time, Rockefeller had a huge monopoly. That monopoly was broken up by the US government by 1911. So way after. By that time, uh, the Model T was already being perfected and starting to get mass produced. And obviously, leaving the electric car way behind in the dust. Why? Because they had the backing and the money from Rockefeller, right? Because he did not want to fuck up his profits. Freaking ego driven humans. Damn. Let's continue. Let's see if we can continue. Mm. Let's see the type, the car. 7 years before the Model T, it debuted in 1901. The Ferdinand Porsche, by Ferdinand Porsche, by him. The obviously the creator of the Porsche. The design, it was a series hybrid, the exact architecture of a modern EREV. Wow, it took us that long to actually realize that was the proper model. The wheels were driven by electric motors located in the wheel hubs. It carried a small internal combustion engine, a gasoline powered engine that was not connected to the wheels. The engine's only job was to power a generator to recharge the battery and supply power to the electric motors. You kidding me, dude? Are you kidding me? This was in 1901. What are we what are we doing as humans, bro? What are we doing? It took us that long to realize that this model was the correct model. And now Ford in 2025 is saying they're going they're going full head into EREVs or series hybrids. That's crazy. This was in 1901. Originally called the Semper Vivus, always alive. It was later known as the Lohner Porsche Mixte. The name was fitting as the gasoline generator provided the always alive range extension that kept the electric car going long distances. Yeah, because they were getting so ultimately, while the hybrid concept was sound, the Model T mass production and the affordability it brought to the gasoline car. Why though? Why? We have to understand why. The hybrid concept was sound. The Model T mass production, so it's mass production, and made it affordable. And how do you get mass production? With huge money behind it. Let's see. So it says right here. Uh, his business was the control of oil refining and distribution. By the time the Ford Motor Company was founded in 1903, Rockefeller was already shifting toward philanthropy, and his massive trust was under heavy scrutiny, leading to its breakup in 1911. His capital was focused on the oil infrastructure, not directly on the manufacture of automobiles. Let's give it a little hand. Um, Starting in the 1880s, the widespread adoption of electric lighting (LED) by companies like Edison severely threatened the demand of kerosene. This created a massive problem for the oil industry. What do we do with the excess crude oil that couldn't be refined into kerosene? The growing popularity of car the internal combustion engine car, perfected by people like Ford, provided the perfect answer. The previous byproduct of refining, gasoline, suddenly became a high value product with virtually limitless demand. So that's another point. So by refining crude oil, the byproduct of it is gasoline. So a byproduct, something that You have to do refined oil, and then all of a sudden you're left with just gasoline. So they're like, what do we do with this gasoline? Of course, the automobile was perfect. Perfect. The automobile was the tipping point that created a massive new market for Standard Oil, Rockefeller's company, main product. Therefore, the rise of the gasoline car aligned perfectly with the industry's immediate survival and long-term prosperity. It says no, there's no historical evidence that John D. Rockefeller or the Standard Oil was a secret investor. Obviously, if it's a secret investor, why would you freaking make it known? Um, the effects of their separate successes created the powerful symbiosis. So I don't. This there's nothing done by mistake. Understand that, especially when there's so many things pointing to the one thing. Ford's mass production to cheap Model T created the consumer base. Rockefeller's role, his systems of pipeline refineries and redistribution networks ensured that cheap standardized gasoline was available to fuel every Model T. They didn't need a formal partnership. Their businesses were perfectly matched to dominate the transportation landscape together. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So you're telling me that businesses don't communicate across, especially if they benefit one another? Like marketing and business owners. Like, come on, do you think just marketing just goes up and business owners separately? Let's go take a look at the car. How about if we do that? That's the name of the car. That's the name of the car. Had it somewhere here. Name of the car, name of the car. Ferdinand Porsche. Original called Sun Perfectus. It was later known as the Lone Herd Mix Day. Let's take this and we're gonna go watch some YouTube videos about it. Let's go check out what if there's any YouTube videos of them of that. Of the actual donor. Oh,
Zip away feels keep going, right? Nope, here it comes. This thing's a total game.
What if I told you that in 1901, while your great-grandpa was still trying to figure out suspenders, there was already a hybrid car with electric motors inside the wheels? Ladies and gentlemen, and my friend Timmy, buckle up and grab your monocles, because today we're traveling back to the days when horses were still giving side-eye to automobiles. And the only hybrid most folks knew was their neighbor Bob's conspiracy theory about ducks and pigeons crossbreeding. Today, we dive into the Lohner Porsche Mixed-A Hybrid, a car so ahead of its time, Timmy thought it ran on moonshine and optimism. Honestly, if this thing had launched today, half the politicians would take credit and the other half would try to ban it. But first, a quick thank you to our sponsors. Without you, we'd have to power this channel the way Timmy powers his fishing trips, by convincing and more empowering. But so are the mustaches and egos. The manufacturer, Jacob Lohner & Co., best known for making luxury carriages for people who'd never carry their own groceries. But along comes a genius, young Ferdinand Porsche, a man whose ideas were so far out there, even Bob thinks he might have been from another planet. Porsche teams up with chief engineer Otto Grunwald, and together they cook up the Mixed-A Hybrid.
Look at that.
Why?
The
Because regular cars just weren't complicated
wheel,
or expensive enough for the Austrian elite. And there's nothing more satisfying than confusing your driver with words like generator, cardan shaft, and accumulators. Funding for the initial Lohner Porsche Mixed-A Hybrids came from Austro-Hungarian diplomat and businessman Emil Jelinek, a man so wealthy he could order 7 long-range Mixed-A cars and barely notice the dent in his fortune. Or, let's be honest, in his common sense. Jelinek financed the first batch of 7 mixed hybrids, each reportedly costing around 14,000 kronen at the time, though the price for later and better-equipped models could climb as high as 34,000 kronen, depending on options. And just to be clear, those weren't the only mixed hybrids ever built. Production continued in various forms for years after, including models assembled at Austro-Daimler. So what made this car special? Well, it wasn't just a show pony.
Like magnets?
Porsche dropped a 5.5-litre inline 4-cylinder DMG Mercedes engine with a whopping 28 horsepower at 800 revolutions per minute under the hood. I know, 28 horsepower sounds like something my lawn chair could handle, but in 1901 that was basically warp speed. This engine, mounted up front and lengthwise, was connected by a cardan shaft to a generator tucked under the front seats. Now, this generator could send juice to a pair of electric motors hiding in the front wheel hubs. Yes, actual wheel hub motors. Even today, most car companies look at that and say, let's come back to it in 120 years. And get this. The batteries weren't just for starting up or creeping a couple of miles, about 25 to 31 kilometers in silence. They could actually take the car as far as 15 to 20 miles, about 25 to 31 kilometers, on electric power alone, which in 1901 Vienna meant you could escape the city center without anyone noticing, unless your name is Timmy and you're already lost by the first intersection. Once those batteries got tired, the gasoline engine would fire up, feeding a generator that powered the electric motors, making this a true series hybrid before the term even existed. As for the chassis, forget your modern ladder frame fantasies. Early Lohner Porsches were built on wooden carriage-style frames, just like a horse-drawn phaeton, because if you wanted steel in 1901, you had to know a baron or a blacksmith. The body style? Most sources describe it as a phaeton or voiturette with elegant coachwork, not the 2+2 roadster you'd see at the modern Concours. This was the kind of vehicle you'd expect to see royalty waving from, not Timmy struggling to find the glove box. When it comes to weight, sources aren't exactly in harmony. Some put the mixed mass around 3,300 pounds, about 1,500 kilograms. Others suggest gearbox, no to the front generator, regenerative braking brakes. But the real showstopper, brakes. All 4 wheels had mechanical drum brakes, but the real showstopper was additional generator regenerative braking provided by those hub motors, a breakthrough for 1901. And at a top speed of around 56 to 60 kilometers per hour, that's 35 to 37 miles per hour, you'd feel like you were defying the laws of physics, or at least making your hat nervous. What about the inside? Well, if you liked comfort, you'd better be a masochist. And as for fuel economy, let's just say it was optimistic, but who cares? If you could afford a Mixed-A, you could afford to hire Timmy to pedal behind you with a fan just for giggles. Production of the Lohner Porsche system resulted in around 300 vehicles of various types, but sales of the hybrid Mixed-A were extremely limited, likely no more than a dozen. Among the clients were prominent figures such as Julius Meinl, Ludwig Stolwerk, Baron Rothschild, and princes from the Fürstenberg family. In 1902, Ferdinand Porsche himself chauffeured Archduke Franz Ferdinand during military maneuvers. So how did the mixed day fare in the real world? Porsche himself set a national speed record in one, hitting a mind-bending 56 kilometers per hour, and even winning the Exelberg Rally in 1902. When Ferdinand Porsche left Lohner for Daimler in 1906, the company's automotive adventures wound down.
These were the good days.
Electric and hybrid concepts faded, only to be rediscovered decades later by everyone from Boeing to NASA, who studied Porsche's work while planning the Apollo lunar rovers. Now let's talk money. Back in 1901, 14,000 kronen for the mixed day would make any banker faint.
So the same
Converted,
model
that's
is
around
used for the
$70,000
Rovers
in
that
today's
might be
money, or about 64,000 euros.
the little
But if you're looking for one at auction now, you're out of luck. None of the original mixed hybrids survived, and the only way you'll see one is as a $1 million replica. Before we wrap up, let's give a round of applause for the mixed day hybrid. It dared to do what nobody else tried, and it made hybrid
I'll be
technology
happy to
look
pay
cool.
for a freaking
120 years
$1
before
million
anyone cared about
replica.
emissions.
Like, I'll
If
be
you
happy.
enjoyed this automotive time travel and want more stories about
It's
crazy
worth
cars
it.
and
It's
wild
worth
inventors,
top
don't forget to hit that
1000%
subscribe button.
worth
Until
it.
then, drive safe,
Rovers,
stay
Porsche,
curious, and keep your
mixed day.
batteries charged.
Come on, bro.
Unless, like Timmy, you run better on caffeine and hope.
What you want to do is save hundreds when Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance.
That's great.
Let's see. Bro, why is it always man things? So I forgot why we went into this topic. This is why. Ford also said that it's all electric F-150 or ERV or series hybrid. What we just watched, the Lohner Porsche Mixed Day in 1901 had the freaking answers. That includes an electric powertrain as well as a gas generator, gas-powered generator, and announced plans to use battery plants in Kentucky and Michigan for new stationary energy storage business. That's crazy. It's like we go back and forth, and with innovations. Seems like we already had so many other answers right in front of us. Okay, let's get out of here. Oh no, my computer's frozen. Is this working? Oh man. Okay, we have to erase some things because this is way too frozen. It's a little slow for my liking. All right. And we're back. How long have we been going? 45 minutes. Not bad. It's not bad. Not too bad at all. Okay, let's do. That's what we were doing. We were doing the daily alerts. And then we just talked about freaking EVs for an hour. I see. Next alert. Trump sues BBC for $5 billion dollars. Claims of defamation from a Panorama documentary. On Monday, President Donald Trump announced he planned to file suit against the British Broadcasting Corporation within days, saying they had me saying things that I never said. I mean, that is actually very true. There's, I mean, there's so many freaking ways that people conspire against someone, and yeah, clipping their videos is one of them. That's what they did to him. They clipped a bunch of his videos from one speech, put it together, cut a bunch of freaking pieces, and then basically made him say something he didn't say, like, whatsoever. And then people bought it. People bought it. Why? Because we live in these segmented bubbles, and it's like it's so hard to spread information when the fucking algorithm just immediately sends it to a bubble. Like we think that we live in such a connected world, right? We think we live in the world of social media that spreads of into the whole entire world. That's like a few certain people. That's not everyone. Most like maybe like 80% to 80 freaking 5% of the entire internet, it's trapped in a bunch of freaking bubbles. So it's like, so if you like golf, that's all you're gonna listen to. If you like knitting, that's the world you're gonna be in. If you like politics, that's the world you're gonna live in. If you like music, that's the world you're gonna live in. So then we think of the internet as being something that, oh, everyone is just connected and together, and we share all the same information. But no, we are caught up in all these bubbles. That's the world we live in, right? And the more that you interact with that bubble, is the more you keep getting deeper and deeper into that. Like if you only like content about medicine because you're a doctor, that's what you'll be shown, right? That's the bubble that you would live in. But if you're a doctor and you like golf, then those two get stacked, and that is your world, right? A lot of people miss this, right? That's why we have so much division. It's like, okay, this is red, this is blue, and like this will only get the information for the red, and this will only get the information for the blue. So then this data is never being crossed and stacked, right? Because these are opposites. These can be because, okay, a doctor can like golf as well, but these that are opposite from each other are completely never intermixed. So then the red side co- always gets fed what entertains them. The red side always gets fed what entertains the red side, and the blue side gets fed everything that entertains the blue side. So then it starts to create more and more and more division, right? So messed up. And then now these news broadcasters are so cocky and confident about that. These new news organizations, and they just plainly lie. Why? Because they know that their audience is in a bubble. Like they know where their audience is, what they do, what they like. They have a profile on the people that freaking watch them. So they're so confident that they can just put out this information. Trump's legal team has threatened to sue for between 1 billion and 5 billion dollars, with UK statute of limitations time barred, making US courts the likely venue amid jurisdictional hurdles. Media law experts caution that U.S. defamation claims face steep hurdles, with Mark Stevens, CBE, saying a liberal trial would scrutinize Trump's January 6 conduct on BBC internal news. Wow. And other freaking alerts. Western and Arab diplomats tour Lebanon-Israel border to observe Hezbollah disarmament efforts. There's not much on this one. Let's see. This is covered pretty evenly. Oh no, this is it is. It would be right. It would say the right center. This is 80% center. Wherein Western and Arab diplomats toured an area along Lebanon's border with Israel Monday, where Lebanese troops and UN peacemakers have been working for months to end the armed presence of the militant Hezbollah group. Yeah, they're trying their best. But good luck, because it is a funded organization. It's like, where do they get their money from? Where did they get their money from? That's a good question, right? That's a great question. Where did they get their money from? So this is how the news looks like. On Gaza's stabilization force, the U.S. will bring together 25 plus nations in Doha on December 16th to plan a stabilization mission for Gaza, focusing on command and operational detail. GOP setback for Trump on redistricting in Indiana. Indiana Republicans rejected a Trump-backed plan to redraw congressional maps, intensifying political tensions within the GOP. American skeptical of Trump on Epstein's handling. A poll finds many Americans doubt President Trump handled. You guys remember all those top U.S. and world headlines today? U.S. to host. So that's what we do. That's what we do. That's how we edit it for the when we do the top US and world headlines segments of the live stream. We edit it into those type of short form content where anybody can digest it, right? Easily digestible, under 3 minutes, just all the news for the day. But it's a confession that this is a confession that lately it's just been so freaking hard, and I missed 2 days, and today would be the third day that I miss. And it's like, oh, it's easy and fun, um, actually saying the news and talking to the stream and reporting on the headlines. Um, Editing the video is also easy, but what's so hard, it's getting the freaking B-roll that goes on top. Um, every day like that. That's the research. Because I really try my best to every word that I'm saying is first actual objective information, and second that I'm actually showing true images of what I'm saying, or um, mainly videos. That's what mainly use. So I have to look throughout the whole freaking internet of the the b-roll to show above my head when I'm talking of exactly what I'm saying, and that it matches perfectly to the actual truth of the events. And it's just so damn exhausting and energy. um it's just energy draining. But I need to find a way that I can do it without getting freaking without getting so overwhelmed or freaking exhausted, because it's just so draining, and I don't want to burn out, because I already feel myself burning out. So I gave myself 3 days to just like chill. Okay, get yourself together. Today being the third day. So now tomorrow I have 4 of these videos to freaking edit, and that is a lot. That's a lot of freaking B-roll, because each news report has um minimum of 6 headlines. So then that's and each headline has 1 to 2 B-rolls. So that's 6 12 6 to 12 freaking videos that I have to look for and research and analyze that there is the actual thing that's going on, and it's accurate. I can do it though. This is fun. This is why I do this, because it's good for me, and it's helping me push past my levels. Like I never in my life I would thought that I would do this many episodes of the freaking live stream. Usually like my level is like 4 days I've made it with like doing something consistently every single day, and we're on our freaking 11th, or yeah, we are on the 11th day and our 12th episode. So it just goes to show that I'm building consistency slowly, but it doesn't have to be perfect. um it just has to be done. It has to be done, and then with time I learn and analyze how to actually get through it, and um, do it in an efficient way and in the proper way, right? To begin with, it's going to be complicated to start it off, but if I can make it if I can make it through a month if I can make it through a month doing it consistently, I feel like I'll be good, and I can continue to do it, and by that time I'll have some sort of um system that I can implement to actually uh edit the news report properly, right? So that I'm not being drained and overwhelmed. because that's not the only thing I did. If that was the only thing I had to do, I'll be okay. But there's so much. I gotta clip the videos of the stream. I gotta clip the videos of the IRLs. I have to do my daily films. I have to do videos for the business. I have to also do long form YouTube videos. It's like just getting a little overwhelmed. But I think just it goes back to everything we've talked about in the previous streams, that is just about trusting trusting God. Trusting God and just lowering your head and understanding that there's only so much you could do. And most of what you can do is just how you handle the situation that you're being put in, how you handle the freaking temptations and the passions that you encounter, whether that's anger, fear, um, frustration. All comes down to understanding that if Christ can do it, so can I. If Christ can endure, he has shown me, he has proven that there's a clear paved road. And then we have the lives of the saints that confirms that this road leads to Christ, that Christ is the narrow road that leads to the Father. And we start to live with the Holy Spirit. And all of that is done with the church, through the church, and at the church. Because the bride of Christ is full of eternal wisdom for humans, for the salvation of humans. Okay. Let's see. Lord God, have mercy on me. God willing, this goes great. Top, let's see. I don't know why you want to do that. Top US and world headlines today. Trump sues BBC for up to $10 billion over Capitol speech edits. Former President Donald Trump filed a major defamation lawsuit accusing the BBC of deceptive editing, intensifying political controversy and sparking nationwide debate. US, EU, and Ukraine leaders reported progress in Berlin peace talks. Key diplomatic talks focusing on ending the Russia Ukraine war showed significant progress, including discussions of security guarantees for Ukraine. Deadly mass shootings in Sydney. Deadly mass shooting at Sydney. Deadly mass shootings in deadly mass shootings in Sydney. Deadly mass shootings in Sydney, Australia reverberates in US politics. The attack that killed at least 15 people has implications, within US leaders condemning the attack and calling for broader security measures. Australia mass shooting. Global response and security shifts. The deadly attack at Bondi Beach has drawn international condemnation and prompted planned gun law reforms. Russia Ukraine peace efforts advance. Multinational force proposed. European and US leaders are backing a multinational force idea and negotiating steps towards de escalation. And new winter storm disrupts travel across northern and southern Canada. A powerful North American winter storm brought heavy snows, flight delays, and hazardous conditions across the Northeast and Midwest. That's the news for today. See you tomorrow. These seem a lot like yesterday's news. We might have to do it again. Now we can go and check the markets. Okay, these are way better. I don't know what the other one was. It was just like a mix of yesterday's news and just not good. So let's see. Top US and world headlines today. Trump sues BBC up Trump sues BBC for up to $10 billion over Capitol speech edit. President Donald Trump filed a major defamation lawsuit against the BBC, stirring fresh controversy in US politics and media. Fort Stewart shooting suspect to face military trial. Naturalization ceremony in Atlanta. Fort Stewart shooting suspect to face military trial. Naturalization ceremony in Atlanta. Key domestic updates including legal proceedings and community milestones. US and global markets react to economic data and AI stock volatility. Stocks showed mixed movements as investors await key economic reports and digestions of recent AI sectors sell offs. In world headlines, peace talks in Berlin show progress on Ukraine conflict. US, European, and Ukrainian leaders report significant steps toward resolving the Russia Ukraine war and discussing a European led multinational force. Toxic smog, worst levels in weeks, disrupts New Delhi. Hazardous air quality forces travelers disruptions and raises public health concern in India's capital. Escalating conflict in eastern DRC. Africa News Roundup. Fighting escalating conflict in eastern DRC. Fighting intensifies with rebel forces capturing Burundian soldiers as regional instability continues. That's the news for today. See you tomorrow. That's the news for today. That's the news for today. See y'all tomorrow. Damn, bro. Okay, now we're gonna do a little market talk. Okay, let's check the markets, see how the trading is investments are going. See if we have any new signals. And then how we can interpret those. Let's see. Let's make sure this is working. Share. Nope. Make sure that's working. Okay. Now we're gonna check out gold first. Okay, let's see. Let's let this load for a little bit. Let's let this load. Okay. Okay, so we have price. Wick. Oh, I'm so sleepy. Wick this area. Grab this liquidity. Rise above, rise down. It has not broken above this high, which I would like it to do on the daily. So the daily is what's moving it right now. So we're gonna take this and remove that. The daily is what's moving price currently. And we see we had a break of structure, and then we're looking to retrace price maybe down to this liquidity area. where we see the last sell-off clearly right here. And two candles on Friday. Oh, Friday, December 5th, and on Monday, December 8th, we had the last sell off before we had the push up that broke previous structure. Now we have a new higher high, and we're looking to grab liquidity at these liquidity zones so buyers can take charge of momentum and keep pushing price to the bullish side. Lower time frame, we can clearly see price has not broken above this new higher high that we have. So then we continue with this structure. This is the previous lower high here. So that's it there to here to up there, and now we here. We're looking to bring price to our golden zone as much as we can. Right here, price already grabbed some liquidity and then instantly wicked right back up. This long right here, do you see this blue? This long blue wick means that price man, this long blue wick means the price rejected this area. So we had exchange, and exchange happened right here, and then price instantly rejected on the way up, but it did not have enough momentum to break above this higher high. So we're still in the same structure. From last week, though, I mean, we are fully bullish. Last week we were over here. If you go look at the previous streams, we were going completely sideways, and till this moment right here, where we got a big sell-off to a break of structure, which confirmed the move into a bullish pattern. Ultimately, we're looking to break above this 44. What are you exactly? A 43.80. We're looking to break above that 43.80. So then we can set a new higher high, which would ultimately, damn, I'm spitting on my computer, bro. That's how tired I am. So which would ultimately cause this a new all-time high. So that's what we're looking for. I don't like this though. That's a lot of liquidity sitting right here. Liquidity. Yeah. Okay. But that's very far. It would have to break below this level, then below this level, then below this level to go to this level, and then finally this level. And it would be very hard to break below this. That is a very strong seller. I don't think sellers will want to sell anything below 35. Like, if anybody is willing to sell below 35, like, then the economy is going to shit. And you have bigger problems to think about. But right now we are in a bullish breaking. So we broke this higher high, we broke this higher high, we broke this higher high, looking to break this after price retraced down to this liquidity area and then just has kept pushing up ever since. Kept pushing up. Now let's see oil. Oil, oil. My sweets all oil. I feel like Rockefeller. With my oil freaking monopoly. All right, oil, same thing, has continued, has been consistently breaking structure, which is what we want. Then it comes back, retraces to a liquidity area, grabbing liquidity and pushing down. So we broke below this, then we broke below this. Now we're looking to break below this one. I would say, what would I say? Okay, boom, boom, boom. I would say this right here. Oh, so many ads. Okay. I refuse to pay any service just to remove the ads. I refuse, no matter how much money I have in the bank account. I refuse to pay for anything that just to remove the ads, no matter if it's Spotify, Hulu, Netflix, freaking my trading view, because I do not need it. I make all my freaking trades on. Do I have it here? It's on the other phone. C Trader. I make all my trades here on C Trader. That's where I execute all my trades. So like, why would I pay TradingView? Why would I pay TradingView when I can do everything that I need to do with the freaking free version just to remove the ads? Come on now. That's just silly. This is a very clean price if we have strong momentum, which by the looks like price rejected right here instantly. But I want to know exactly where that came from. Okay. I'm gonna sleep. You know, fuck this. Price liquidity right here. If tomorrow we have to fix my charts, then fuck it. Don't take any trading advice from here. I'm just teaching you how to analyze the markets, and you risk according to your risk analysis, which I always say less than 1%. The less your risk, the more you're able to trade without killing your account, right? And having a proper risk to reward ratio. So you risk 1 to win 3. Simple. So your wins will always outweigh your losses, no matter how many losses you have. Simple trading. You do that consistently over time, and that is successful trading for you. Now here, price looking to come up here. That's about it. Now Bitcoin. What the? That's so similar. What? That's so similar. That is so similar. That's crazy. That is insane. So we have a clear. So this one broke below our level. So now we look at this and we see a bearish pattern. Let's see. Let's go to the bigger time frame first. Always, come on. I'm just too tired. I can't freaking think properly. Higher time frame. Expansion, contraction, expansion. Contraction. Still within this larger expansion. So then this one, bye this move. Okay, so we are, if it breaks below 83,725, that's when we will have an issue. Right now, I guess we're looking to break above 95,732. But right, it looks like price is just retracing because we didn't break above and we didn't break below, so it's going sideways, retracing on the bearish side, trying to grab some liquidity so the buyers can have some momentum. If you look at this, it looks scary, but now look at this. Wow, simple trading. Look at the freaking bigger time frame. Now you see what's actually going on in the market right here. Expansion, contraction, grabbing liquidity to push bullish momentum higher. We're having an exchange of price. Bigger institutions are trying to get a better deal on freaking their exchange, so they gotta go lower to get a better price, to then push price up, and then you have a trade. That's huge institutions for you. That's how they play. They have their own strategies. They know what they're doing. That's the stream for today. Glory to God. Have mercy on me. And God willing, this goes great.